All right, guys, before we get started, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video, click the notification bell, all that good YouTube stuff. But this is kind of a replacement video. I'm going to remove a video and replace it with this because my opinion has changed when it comes to the Arcane Mr. Scarry pickup versus the Pariah Skere pickup, as I like to call it. So you guys have seen this guitar before. You haven't seen it in this incarnation. I decided to sand down the body even more and get rid of some of that black stuff that it had on the top of it. I also went around the edges and I kind of made it kind of worn. I wanted it to look like an old whiskey barrel or an old pirate ship, or just to have this kind of two-tone worn look to it. And just really sanded it down. Put some more polyurethane, wipe on, wipe off polyurethane, which just kind of makes a little seal on it. And let's go up to the headstock here. As you can see, it has a totally different look to it. It's got just a wood grain headstock. That paint job that was on the headstock kind of didn't match the body, so it had to go. And I realized really quick that this logo of the name that we shall not say, was actually down in the wood. So I thought to myself, wow, I can just sand off that terrible paint job that's on it, and it left this awesome looking headstock with still the logo is still intact. As you can see, I've upgraded the tuners on this bad boy. And let's go back down. The other thing we've got an upgrade on is we have a real Floyd Rose on it. Everybody was really giving me a hard time about having a Floyd Rose special on it. You know, this guitar, when it originally started out, it was, you know, kind of a junk build, and it actually turned into a really awesome guitar. So I decided to upgrade the Floyd Rose on it. And as you can see, it's got one chrome tooth right there. And that was not by design. That saddle actually had an issue with it. And I tried to replace it with a black one that I had, and it was a little too tall. So I remembered I had a set of the chrome ones stashed away. So I stole one of the chrome ones and put it on there. And now it really is the pirate guitar. It's got the one chrome tooth, and it looks really cool. And I think that's awesome. You know, I get that from my buddy Bruce Kulick. You know, all of his old ESP guitars had mismatched saddles on them, and that's the way he would like order them or whatever back in the 80s. They would have like, even if you order the LTD ESP that he put out recently, all the saddles are different. It goes like black, gold, black, chrome, and it's just all mismatched, and it kind of gives it a cool different look. But I like to call it the chrome tooth. So let's talk about the most obvious thing. It's got an Arcane Mr. Scarry pickup in it now. And the main reason I wanted to change this video was my opinion on this pickup. In the old video, I said I probably wouldn't buy this guitar again for a different guitar, but it fits this George Lynch style guitar perfectly. I've changed my mind on that. I would definitely put this pickup in another guitar. I've kind of found out that it was more my setup than anything. You know, playing hard rock or metal, sometimes people like myself will get the pickup a little too close to the strings. And, you know, I know what the gap is supposed to be, and I normally push it a little bit to get a little bit more volume and gain out of it. And I realized that really hurts the tone of this pickup more than any other pickup that I've ever seen. This pickup is very picky, and it's very unforgiving. It's got a ton of mid-range. It picks up every nuance of your guitar, from the strings to the wood to the frets. I've got the same pickup in another guitar that looks similar to this one, and it sounds totally different. You can hear the same characteristics, but it really takes on the voice of the guitar more than any pickup I've ever seen. And I would definitely buy it again. It's got an Alanico 8 magnet in it, which is a little different. It's, you know, it's got the warmth of an Alnico magnet, but it's got the clarity of a ceramic. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, and I'm really, really digging this. Let's go on to the next guitar so we can talk about it real quick. We're going to kind of compare this. I'm going to give you my opinions between the Mr. Scarry from Arcane versus the Pariah Skere pickup. All right, so this is my Piper Customs Bones guitar. Everybody loves this guitar, you know, it's just classic. This is built by my buddy Michael Piper. He doesn't make these anymore, so they're stupid rare and they're awesome. I've had a couple of these Bones guitars, and I just really love his version, his take on these, because they're just so clean. The paint jobs are so awesome. This one's got a kill switch on it, but this has got the Pariah Skere pickup. I guess that's how they pronounce it. What they do is they spell it differently so that they don't get sued by George or by anybody else. It's spelled Skere with like a little hyphen deal on the end of it. And it's an Alnico 8 pickup, just like the Arcane Mr. Scarry. And I think this is what they thought that that pickup was, but actually it's a little different. It's got a lot more high end to it. It is a little clearer. It is a lot more modern sounding. The low end on this pickup is really super tight, and it sounds really good. You know, I wouldn't change the pickup in this guitar for the world. It sounds awesome, but when it comes to which one I would prefer, I will tell you that the Arcane Mr. Scarry has a better tone. It's just more rounded out as an awesome pickup. This thing is awesome, but it sounds more like an active pickup. It's very, very high frequency. It definitely cuts through, and it's probably cuts through better than any pickup I've ever heard, but it doesn't have the body that the Arcane pickups got. So yeah, there's definitely a difference between the two. They're both Alnico 8. They're both about 13.5K as far as, you know, what you're getting out of the pickup. But there's definitely some similarities, but totally different pickup when it comes to the tone. This pickup sounds great in this guitar. Like I said, I wouldn't change it, but the Mr. Scarry is definitely probably the more versatile pickup of the two. This pickup right here is great for metal, but like I said, the Mr. Scarry is kind of the preference. All right, so this is my other Mr. Scarry guitars clone, and this is more of a high-end custom build. This was built in the USA. The other guitar was built in the USA, but it was more of a project guitar. It started out kind of more of as a junk guitar that I really fixed up. This guitar, on the other hand, was made by XXX Guitar Works by my buddy Rob, and he did a phenomenal job. This is just a high-end USA custom build. It's made out of alder, which I really dig because, you know, that's what Washburn N4s are made out of. So it's got a very N4 type tone and feel to it. And of course the graphic is all hand burned into the guitar by an artist. And yeah, it is just super tight and super awesome. Look at the detail in this thing. It's just phenomenal. And it's got the Mr. Scarry as well from Arcane. And it sounds totally different than the other guitar with the Mr. Scarry in it. You definitely hear the similarities, but the wood difference, with this being alder, it's really, really tight. It's really percussive versus the other guitars like made out of poplar, which I wouldn't think would be a great wood to have a guitar out of, but it's got a really wide sound with a lot of bass to it. And it sounds really good. They just sound totally different. So definitely keep that in mind when you're getting that Mr. Scarry. It is going to take on the voice of the guitar that you pop it in. And another thing, like I said at the start of the video, make sure that your height isn't too high. You want to make sure that that thing is the proper distance away from the strings, or when you palm mute or do anything, it's gonna pick all that up way too much, and it's gonna overload it almost, and you're gonna get all kinds of weird noises out of it. So I definitely would recommend make sure that that pickup is set to the correct height. Also, make sure that you've got a quality pot. This guitar had a quality pot in it, but it did not agree with this pickup, and it didn't agree with the last pickup I had in there. So what I did was I put a CTS pot in there. It completely opened up the sound, and it sounds great now. But yeah, definitely keep that in mind. But I just wanted to make a different video, because my last video I said that, this Mr. Scarry, I wouldn't buy it to put it in another guitar. And I've completely changed my mind on that. I definitely would put it in, a non-George Lynch guitar. It sounds phenomenal. And it's got a big open sound. It does, the low end on it is a little loose, but you can tighten that up with your EQ on your amp. But it's just got a really wide range to it. It's really percussive. It's got a lot of harmonics to it, and I definitely dig it. And I hope you guys dig the video. Like I said before, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and thank you for tuning in and checking out this video. We'll see you next time.